Here we go! Another day, another video. Let's see what my Discord has in store for me today to answer your questions. Oh shit! Alright, I'm gonna leave that one in. Nice little blooper to start off. I just ran into some tree branches. So, I'm making my way over to the Q&A section of my Discord. And Felix JH is asking me, how do I focus on studying? So he's basically asking me for a life hack to be able to focus on studying. This is an issue that I've been seeing a lot. A lot of people, young people, mainly students, are complaining about the lack of their ability to be able to focus and concentrate on studying and basically just, getting through all of the data that they have to study for their exams in school or college or university. Now, the way I see it, there's two ways I can take this question. One would be for me to start recommending you which so-called nootropics, I guess that's how you say it, you should take that would stimulate your focus. So to be clear, we're talking about chemical substances, mainly natural, some maybe not so natural, that you can take to enhance your ability to study. There's a ton of YouTube channels right now creating content that revolves around just that. They're literally recommending people which chemical compounds to take, which pills to take to be able to study better. And whether that's good or bad, let me leave that out in the open. I'm not gonna get into that. However, I am gonna say that though in some particular cases I am a proponent of using substances like that to be able to focus, in the grand scheme of things, especially as it pertains to studying for a degree, meaning for your future career, I am of the belief that if you are finding it that hard to focus on the material at hand, if you're finding it that impossible to stay locked in on the things that you're basically going to be doing for the next 30 or 40 years to come, then I'm gonna go out on a limb and tell you that you're probably not doing the right thing for you, meaning that you've probably made a mistake in terms of the career that you've chosen to pursue. Everything has to do with genuine and natural interest. And I'll use me as an example. I was the worst student that you could possibly imagine. Like, I couldn't sit down and focus on my books for 5 minutes. All throughout high school, I had a really hard time. All throughout college, I had a really, really hard time. Then even when I went to uni, it was a constant struggle. I just couldn't focus on the things that I had to study and had to learn. And I always figured that, hey, maybe I'm just not good at so-called book learning. It's just not in my skill set. Now, as I got older, I started noticing some very interesting things. One of which, for example, when I got into weightlifting, when I got into fitness, obviously the first couple of years, you just go there like a jackass, you lift weights and whatever, But then, with the rise of YouTube and the rise of general fitness content, and more specifically the rise of scientific content as it pertains to fitness, I began consuming fitness content from a scientific point of view as if there was no tomorrow. I went on a binge. I was so thirsty for information, you know. How long should I train? When should I train what? How does the body respond to this and that? Like, I'm not gonna get into that. That's not what this video is about. My point is, it was so incredibly easy for me to consume, digest, and focus on this information that others who are not into fitness would consider the most boring information in the world. Now for me, it was, I wanted more. I spent hours and hours a day listening to podcasts and general videos about this topic. You know why? Because I had a genuine and natural interest. I was motivated because I noticed that the more I learned about the gym and how to properly train, the more I learned about nutrition and which things to eat and not to eat, the better I got in the gym. I'm gonna lower my voice a little bit because there's some fishermen here and I don't want to scare away the fish. Alright? This is actually a really popular spot in my hometown for people that come and fish. As you may or may have not noticed in the background, there's a bunch of little piers that they've constructed to go into the water and fish. Alright, so hopefully we're far enough. But yeah, if you guys know anything about fishermen, they will straight up kill you if you come in shouting, scaring away the fish. Alright, so I was saying the better, you know, the more knowledge I consumed, the better my body got. So I was like, man, give me more. And I got really good at it. I never had any issues with focusing on this. Example number 2. When I was studying when I was going for my bachelor's degree in communication management, being that I live in Belgium, French was a very important part of the course. And I fucking hated the French language. I despised it. That was my arch nemesis, yet it was one of the most important things for us to be able, you know, to master as we are living in a bilingual country where 50% Dutch speaking, 50% French, so it was no way around it. And I struggled and I struggled and I struggled. I took French courses in total for more than 10 years, even I think 12 years in total, if I count it all up. But in the end, I was able to speak French, but I still wasn't that good and I still struggled, and it was a nightmare each and every single year to pass my French course. Fast forward a couple of years, your boy moves to Barcelona. Now, me being the blonde demigod that I was, with my blue eyes and my creamy, milky white skin, I found myself attracted to and attracting South American ladies quite rapidly. Here I am in Barcelona, being used to strike out with the Belgian girls for decades in a row, and all of a sudden, these girls considered me exotic, and they're the exact type of girls that I really like. So you can imagine, I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is great. But there was one small caveat, one small, really big problem. Most of them did not speak a lick of English. And I did not speak Spanish at all. How could I? I had never took a Spanish course. I never lived in a country where they speak Spanish, so naturally, like, I didn't speak Spanish. So I was able, you know, simply by body language and dancing and you know, sign language and whatever, I was able to, you know, to get close enough to them to be able to kind of like, you know, try and talk to them and try and vibe. But needless to say, it was extremely hard to have any type of substantial conversation, which, if you know me, is that's what I'm all about. Like, I'm all about talking and going deep and philosophizing and, you know, all that stuff. I love talking. So what did I have to do? You guessed it. I had to learn Spanish ASAP. Otherwise, I could never, you know, get any step closer to having a Latin American girlfriend. Once again, motivation and passion occurred, thus allowing me to learn Spanish well enough to converse and to really talk at a record rate. It took me 12 years of suffering to be able to be moderately good at French. It took me about 1 year of really giving a damn and trying to be pretty damn good at Spanish, to the point where I was able to have full-blown relationships with women that only spoke Spanish. You know, was it hard for me to focus and was it hard for me to stay motivated? Because all I was thinking about was, if I can just learn how to say, "You have beautiful eyes," you know, or compliment them, or ask them out for dinner, I can get to that next step. So I was constantly doing three things. I was using an app called Duolingo, which is a free app that'll teach you how to, that'll help you learn a new language in a very playful format. I was watching Spanish TV shows. Well, no, not Spanish. I was watching Netflix shows, and I would put the audio in English, but the subtitles in Spanish, so I could make, you know, I could recognize words and just like passively memorize them that way. And I started listening to a bunch of reggaeton songs, such as Bad Bunny, Bad Bunny, Bad Bunny. And if you don't know who Bad Bunny is, then you think I'm geeking out and that's weird what I just did. But if you do know him, you know that's what he does all the time. And I started translating his lyrics in Google Translate. Basically killing two birds with one stone, because not only was I learning Spanish that way, I was also able to really learn the Spanish that I wanted to learn. You know, like, they always sing about making love and passion and things like that. I was thinking about going up there, but it looks like it's underwater here. So that'll be for another day. We had a lot of rain in the last couple of days and weeks. So, yeah, reggaeton. I was always translating the lyrics, and because they also use very basic lyrics all the time, it's super basic. That's why a lot of native Spanish speakers hate that genre, because it's so basic. But for me, it was like reading a children's book, you know, because they just talk so basic. But for me, it's like, hey, this is great, because I can actually understand these words. The same words keep coming back and back over and over. And yeah, that's what I did. And that's how I was able to learn Spanish, basically. Now, I say all that to say this, Felix and anyone else who is struggling to find their focus when studying. You need to think about why you chose to study what you're studying. Are you doing it because your parents are expecting that of you? Are you doing it because they told you there's a lot of money in that career? Are you doing it because of the status that will come with the job title that you can get due to that degree? Really think hard and long about that and be honest with yourself. Because if one of those reasons, you know, is the case, then you shouldn't continue. You should really figure out what your true interest is, what your true passion is. What is it that you have a natural hunger for? What is it that really, like, you know, that gets you? Think about that. And if you're watching this, you're 17, 18, 19, I'm gonna give you some advice that I wish I would have done. There's nothing wrong with spending a year traveling to go and work and live in a different country, just to kind of mature, grow up, and figure out who you truly are. When I was 18, 19, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, what I wanted to do, but I just kept going because, you know, that's what you're expected to do in this society. But you should really second guess that. If it's that hard for you to study, if it's that hard for you to focus, chances are you're just not doing what you are supposed to be doing. All right? And I don't care how young you are, how old you are, it is never too late to make a positive shift in life. By the way, it's the same with me and these videos and editing. I never took a course in video editing. I never learned how to properly use Final Cut Pro, you know. That's all stuff that I learned from YouTube tutorials by trial and error. Because I wanted to be able to make videos and edit videos and do all this stuff, you know. If it comes natural, it comes easy. That's it. That's basically all I had to say on that matter. Now, if you are watching this video and you're thinking, hey, I also have a question from a man one of Viking, then good news. You can make your way over to my Discord channel, which is linked below the video. And you can just join the server and ask me anything you like in the Q&A section, and I'll make a video just like this one answering your question. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll be back with another video tomorrow. Life is beautiful, guys. Stay safe.